video blog, we're going to talk about some do-it-yourself trigger point releases. So it was brought up that a lot of people have low back pain, which is not new to anybody. And one of the things we find best for low back pain that would help you out is to find trigger points in your glutes. It sounds a little odd because people will say, well, my pain's my low back, why would I go to the glutes? If your glutes are tight and or weak, they're going to have trigger points, which is basically a tight part of the muscle. So it's like if you take a rope and you tie some knots into it and then pull, that's kind of what your muscles are doing. So we find if we take a lacrosse ball, which is not very forgiving, it's a pretty hard rubber ball, and you put it in the key areas on your glute muscle. We'll tell people to pretty much do this against the wall at first, and what you're going to do is put pressure on the leg opposite of what you're working on. So if I'm doing my right hip and glute area, I'm going to put more weight on the left. I'm going to push weight enough to feel the trigger point. So when you roll this around, up and down, side to side, you can even do like circular patterns, and you're trying to find like the worst area, something that's tight and painful. So let's say I found that on me right here. Once you do that, that's step one, as we call it. Step one is to find it, the worst one. Then step two is you're going to go side to side and up and down. So simply put, you're going to make like a cross or a T pattern or an X, however you want to look at that. And then you're going to do that 30 seconds to a minute, maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter, depending on how severe it is. And then what you're trying to do is really narrow in, almost find the bullseye, as we call it, of that trigger point. And then I'm just now putting more and more pressure into that area. You might hold that for a minute or two. And then after that, you could find other ones or just kind of do a brief little check. So if you were having some back pain and it hurt when you bent forward, do some trigger point releases, at least one, on one side of the glute. You may try the other side, and then retest whatever that painful movement or position is. And if it's better, you know part of that was coming from a trigger point. Trigger points are notorious to be in people's glutes and shoulder blades. When they're in the glutes, they tend to affect low back pain, even pain down your leg. When they're in the shoulder blade, they tend to affect arm pain or even into the neck. So hopefully that tip will help you out and reduce your back pain.